Hello, hello, welcome back. My name is Donald, aka the Scruffy Looking Gamer, and today we got some news about Chapter 2 of Disney Lorcana. All right, let's jump right in because we got some really exciting stuff here. So we found out today that Chapter 2 of Disney Lorcana is going to be called Rise of the Floodborn. So you may have noticed in set 1 there were Floodborn tags on characters. And what that means, the Floodborn are popular characters that have been kind of washed over with this flood of mysterious ink. So they're going to be in weird variations than what you're used to seeing. And we have one of those Floodborn right here. And this card I am so excited about, so hype about this card. So this is Cinderella Stout-Hearted, and she is a Floodborn hero princess knight. I believe this is our first time seeing the knight FX there, so that should be fun to see what we can do with knights in the future. But she is a 7-cost inkable, 5/5. She quests for 3. Sure, that's fine, but let's read the rest of this card. First of all, a shift 5, pretty standard for this type of character, 2 less than their normal cost. We have a 4-cost Cinderella already in Amber, so this is a perfect shift right on curve. Then she has a new ability, Resist +2. So damage dealt to this character is reduced by 2. That means if you cast a Fire the Cannons on her, it does 0. If you cast a Smash, it does 1. If you challenge or get challenged by her with anything that is 2 or less power, it's going to put 0 damage on her. That's insane. And I like that. I don't even know what else to say about that. It's insane. That's going to be really good moving forward with a character like this that you're, let's just look at the next ability. Whenever you play a song, this character may challenge ready characters this turn. So normally you can only challenge a character that has been exerted. If they quested, if they sang a song, if they challenged, that was the only time you were able to challenge them back. Now, with this, you can challenge them just by playing a song. So that means Rockstar Stitch setting back and just giving you card advantage? Not anymore. All those control style cards that they're not going to exert them, so you can't take them out. Doesn't matter. And there is already a deck seen play in with the Chapter 1 cards in Steel and Amber that cares all about songs. So this card slots perfectly into that deck. This card is so good. I am super hyped about this card. And if this is one of the first cards we're seeing, I mean, I don't know how it gets any better than this. I don't think they can top this card for me, but I'm pretty sure they probably will. But I am super hyped about this card. Yeah, Resist is going to be a cool mechanic, and that ability is just fantastic. Let's move on to our next Floodborn character. This is Belle, Hidden Archer. She is a 5 non-inkable 3/3 that quests for 3, and she has a shift 3. She has an ability, when this character is challenged, the challenging character's player discards all cards in their hand. So similar to like Flynn Rider, where when they challenge him, they have to discard a card, except this time they're discarding all their cards. That's pretty good incentive to not want to challenge this character. Now, unfortunately, she dies to like Smash, so that is something that you could use to take care of it. But as far as challenging goes, you're going to not want to do that unless you are just desperate. And with her questing for 3 every turn, that's going to get out of hand pretty quick. This slots right into, we have a number of green cards already, emerald cards already that are just punishing for your opponent to challenge into that quest for high amounts. And that deck is super fun to play. I've been playing a Ruby Emerald version of that deck, and it's my favorite deck to play so far for sure. So Belle, Hidden Archer, she slots right into that, and I'm really excited for her. Next Floodborn character we have Gaston, intellectual powerhouse. Not how you thought you would be seeing Gaston, but he is a 6, uninkable, 4/4. He quests for 3, and he has a shift of 4, and he has developed brain. So we had a card in chapter 1 that says developing your brain. Well, he's already developed. So when you play this character, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may put 1 into your hand, the rest on your bottom. So develop your brain. You could look at 1 or look at 2, put 1 in your hand. Now that we're developed, we're just we're going straight for 3 cards. So Gaston he's okay. I'm not sure where this fits in currently. We're gonna have to see some more stuff before we put this in a deck somewhere. I don't think it fits really in anything that we've got going out of chapter 1 so far. So depending on what we see in chapter 2, we'll see where this goes. But I mean, drawing a card is never a bad thing. This card replaces itself, so that's always good. At 6 and uninkable, that's asking a lot. If you shift it for 4, that's not bad at all. But I don't know. Yeah, with it being uninkable too, don't know if this really warrants a spot in any deck right now, but we'll see what we have coming. And next we have Tiana, Celebrating Princess. She also has the resist mechanic. So resist +2, damage dealt to this character is reduced by 2. So same as with Belle, the damage would be reduced. Unless you're doing more than 2 damage, they're just not going to take anything. It's interesting though. The mechanic is resist, and that is bolded, and then the +2 is not in bold. So I'm assuming we will see resist in different numbers as well. Resist +1, +3, +4, something crazy like that. So she has an ability. She is a 4 uninkable, a 1/4, quests for 2, and her ability is while this character is exerted and you have no cards in your hand, opponents can't play actions. So this is pretty cool. I think it works in like a zoo style deck where you're trying to just flood the board with as many characters as you can. You're not really going to have anything in your hand. And then when you're questing with this, it keeps your opponent from being able to cast action cards, which works well against like a control style deck. This probably sees play. Being uninkable is not great. There is a steel amber zoo style deck, so I think she could warrant a slot in that deck. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what else we get, if this just gets outclassed or not. But pretty cool design, I think. Next, we have Merlin Shapeshifter. Merlin is 4 inkable, a 1/5, and he quests for 1, but he has ability that says whenever one of your other characters is returned to your hand from play, this character gets +1 lore this turn. So I think this warrants a really cool play style with like Dr. Facilier and Mickey, Wayward Sorcerer, where you're just throwing your characters at your opponent's characters. Those abilities will bounce them back to your hand, and then this gets +1 lore each time, and then you're just questing for a huge amount with Merlin. I think that's a pretty cool. It's kind of like an alternate way of winning. Although I mean, you're still winning with 20 lore, but it's you're building your deck around Merlin and getting your characters bounced back to your hand. And of course, Dr. Facilier and Mickey are also in Amethyst, so he slots right in. We'll have to see what else we get. We have Befuddle that we can cast on our own characters and return them. I don't think that's what we want to be doing, but it is an option. So we'll have to see how this deck shapes up. But I think Merlin's Shapeshifter is going to give us a new deck archetype to play with. Next we have Dinner Bell. This is an item, 4 ink, uninkable, and you can exert it and pay 2. You draw cards equal to damage on chosen character of yours, and then you banish that character. So I think where this fits is like with reckless characters when you're not getting any value out of them anyway. Once they've done what they need to do and challenged you can just sacrifice them to the dinner bell to draw cards. It's not terrible to do, I guess. I mean, they weren't going to do anything else but maybe get to take something out next turn, or your opponent might take them out before you get another turn, so you'd rather draw the cards off them. I don't know. If this maybe was 2 ink to cast, I could see it. At 4, it's pretty overcosted, I think. I don't know where you want to play this efficiently for 4. But maybe. I mean, stuff like Maui is 5, and he's something that you would want to attack in with, and then you could sack him to this. But still, I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes. Maybe they'll throw us some more cards that really we have an incentive to want to use them to dinner bell. Moving on, we have another item, the Sorcerer's Spellbook. This is 3 uninkable, and you can exert it and pay 1 to gain 1 lore. This is sweet. So I know personally I've had many games where I get to 18 or 19 and then I just can't finish the game because my opponent is just clearing my entire board, or dealing with everything I have, and I have no way to just get those last 1 or 2 points of lore. This is great in a deck like that. Like in a amber amethyst kind of aggro style deck, I think this works really well to just be able to turn that 1 ink into 1 lore and finish off the game when you need to. Yeah, there's not much more to say about this. I wish it was inkable, but most of the items aren't inkable. I've noticed we're really getting a lot of uninkable items in set 1 and so far in this. So it's kind of a trend, but I think this card's great. Moving on, we have a new Elsa. Elsa Gloves Off. She is 4. She is inkable. She's a 3/4. She quests for 1, and she has Challenger +3. It's a fine card. I mean, it can take out some pretty big stuff. If it was maybe 3 costed and like a 2/3 instead, and had Challenger 3, it could be playable. I don't know. I don't see this really seeing any play. It's nice, I guess, to have another to shift into Big Elsa if you need to. But yeah, it's just a pretty basic card. Next, we have an action, Assault 0 to Hero from Hercules. This is a 2-cost, non-inkable, and you count the number of characters you have in play, and you pay that amount of ink less for the next character you play this turn. I think this card's pretty cool. First of all, count the number of characters you have in play. That's something we didn't have a reason to care about before, but now we do. So in those zoo-style decks, this kind of just slots right in. And then you have 4, 5, 6 characters in play. You're paying 4, 5, 6 less for the next character. So you can drop like Rockstar Stitch for free, or something else for free, like our next card we're going to talk about. And that, yeah, I think that's awesome. So you're getting a huge discount on some big character in those decks that like to stay low to the ground and flood the board, but then want to cast some big cool things as well. Like this next card, Mickey Mouse Friendly Face. So this is a 6-cost inkable. He has a 1/6. He quests for 3. And Mickey says, whenever this character quests, you can pay 3 less for the next character you play this turn. So I think those cards fit so well together. So you can get Mickey out essentially for free, and then on your next turn, you can quest with Mickey to pay 3 less for some other character to drop down, and just flood the board. And Mickey questing for 3 is pretty nice, because the kind of deck that would play this, I think, is really like an aggro zoo style deck. So yeah, Mickey Friendly Face pairs really well with 0 to Hero, and I think those 2 cards are going to be a pretty welcome addition to that zoo aggro deck. Next card we have is the Queen Commanding Presence. She is 5 and inkable, a 4/3. She quests for 2. And this is interesting. She has shift 2. So as far as I know, all of our other shift characters we've seen all have been shift cost 2 less than their normal cost. This one is 3 less, which is very big discount. We don't, unless we get a 1 ink queen in chapter 2, she doesn't curve into anything, but the fact that she's still just discounted down just to 2 ink is pretty remarkable. And she has an ability that says when this character quests, chosen opposing character gets -4 power this turn, and chosen character gets +4 power this turn. So that is a pretty big power swing. If you need to take something out, you can hit something pretty big with +4, even if they're just a 1 or 2 power to start with. 5 and 6 power is going to take out most everything. And turning something down -4 on the other side is probably going to ensure you're not going to take any damage, if maybe 1 or 2. So I think this card probably will be very good. I'm interested to see if we get a 1-cost queen, so we have a natural shift into that. Though on turn 2, you're not really going to need the +4, -4 power, so I don't know that you really want to play this on 2. It might just be a good shift later in the game when you're shifting onto something that their ink is dry already, and you can swing in immediately with this, maybe, or quest immediately with this, so you can use her ability. And it's also interesting, she gets that ability on each time she quests, not just when she enters, but each time you're questing with her. So that ability being repeatable is pretty awesome. Next 2 cards we have are just vanilla cards, but they might be 2 of the most exciting cards in this whole list. So Rhea, Warrior of Kumandra. Not really sure if that's correct. I've never seen this Disney movie, so before you blow me up in the comments that I said it wrong, I'm sorry. But I know that people are excited because this brings another IP into the game that we didn't have in set 1. And the artwork is beautiful in this card. I mean, even though it's just a vanilla 4 inkable 5/3 quest for 1, nothing too great here, but the artwork is beautiful. And I think this is more exciting just for what else it brings from that IP than what this card does itself. I mean, this card would be okay in draft if you're drafting. Wouldn't be a bad pick, but nothing too spectacular all around. This next card, though, has everybody all excited. This has been the talk of the town for a while now. When are we going to get Winnie the Pooh? Here he is. Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard. Let me just say, this is the best artwork I've ever seen on a Disney Lorcana card. This artwork is phenomenal. He's just a vanilla. 5 inkable, 5/5, quest for 2. Not exciting. But people are excited about Winnie the Pooh. That also means we're probably getting like a Piglet, maybe Christopher Robin. We already have a Tigger. And that artwork, that's all I got to say is that artwork, man. I want that playmat. If that is not a playmat, I'm going to be really sad because that is so sweet. Yeah, that's just all there is to say. Sweet, sweet Winnie the Pooh artwork. But that is all the cards we have for now. 13 new cards. I'm sure we'll probably get, it'll probably be a little bit closer to the November 17th release before we start seeing a whole lot more. This was kind of a jump start to get people excited. I know people are still trying to get set 1 in their hands, and they're working on it. They're trying to get stuff reprinted and out to the people as fast as possible. It's likely we might have set 2 in our hands before a lot of people get set 1, and that's unfortunate. But that's the way TCGs work. Unfortunately, they're planned so early and sent to printers just because of the backed up schedules with the printers that once it's all in motion, it's hard to throw any wrinkle into that. So set 2 should be a higher print run, I hope, than set 1. I hope they've been able to adjust that by now, and we won't have the issues with getting it into people's hands. But I'm really excited for set 2 with these cards, and I want to know what you think. These cards, which one is your favorite? What decks do you see these slotting into? That kind of stuff. Let me know in the comments section. Leave a like if you like the content. Hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to see more, let me know. Until next time.